Okay, so what if I told you that compliance wasn't a chore, but actually your program's greatest strength? Today, we are going to completely flip the script on compliance in child nutrition programs. We're turning it from something that causes anxiety into your most powerful leadership tool.
I mean, let's be real for a second. When you hear that word compliance, what's the first thing you think of? Is it just stacks and stacks of paperwork? Do you get that little knot in your stomach thinking about a potential audit? For so many of us, it feels like a chore, just this necessary evil to stay out of trouble. But what if that whole way of thinking is actually holding you back? Let's try to reframe this. Strong compliance? It's not a punishment. It is your protection. It's the hard proof that you and your team are doing incredible work. It's the shield that protects your program's funding. And you know what? It's the security blanket that makes sure those meals keep getting to the kids who really need them.
So the very first step we've got to take is also the most important one. A complete shift in our mindset. We have to stop looking at compliance as just another task on the to-do list and start building it right into the culture of our programs. You know, this right here is probably one of the biggest myths we need to bust. We have this idea that the state reviewer is on some kind of mission to find every little mistake. But the truth, they're really looking for consistent, reliable systems. They want to see you have a process in place to catch errors, not that you're some kind of superhero who never makes them. So what's the foundation of all these systems? Well, it's core documents, like the production record. I want you to think of this as the official story of your meal service. It's the written, verifiable proof of all the amazing work your team does every single day. This isn't just another form, it's a fundamental piece of your program's defense. And that brings us to a really important point about your role as a leader. Your job is not to be the head form filler. No, you are the architect. You're the systems builder, the one who designs the processes that empower your team and protect the entire program.
All right, so if you're the architect, what's the number one principle you build everything on? Well, it all boils down to one simple, non-negotiable rule that pretty much governs every single audit you'll ever face.
This is it. This is the single most important truth in the world of compliance. You could tell an auditor you served 1,000 of the most delicious, perfectly compliant meals, but if you don't have the paperwork to back it up, in their eyes, it just didn't happen. Documentation isn't just a good idea, it's everything. And look, this shows you the consequences perfectly. A missing production record, that's not just a small slip-up. To an auditor, it means the meal wasn't served. And if the meal wasn't served, guess what? The funding for that meal is gone. It's a direct and, frankly, very costly chain reaction. So let's be absolutely crystal clear here. Your main job isn't just getting the work done. It's building the systems that automatically create the proof that the work was done correctly. In compliance, the system is the proof. Okay, so how do we build this rock-solid foundation? I mean, trying to tackle everything all at once is just overwhelming, right? That's why we're going to break it down with a simple framework I call the 5 pillars of compliance. Trust me, when something goes sideways in an audit, it almost always comes back to a weakness in one of these 5 areas. Here they are, the 5 pillars: documentation, verification, oversight, timing, and communication. If you can master these, you're not just getting ready for an audit, you're building a program that's secure and successful by its very design. First up, documentation. Like we said, this is your absolute first line of defense. The real key here is to keep it simple and consistent. It doesn't matter if it's a binder or some fancy digital log, just pick a tool your team will actually use and make checking it every day a non-negotiable habit. Pillar number 2 is verification. You see, just collecting the forms is only half the job. You have to actually check them. Simple things like a quick edit check to make sure your meal counts line up with attendance can create accountability and catch tiny little errors before they snowball into huge audit findings. Pillar 3 is all about oversight. Why on earth would you wait for a state reviewer to come in and find a problem? Be your own auditor first. By planning short, monthly internal reviews, you can spot and fix issues on your own terms. And hey, don't forget to document those reviews. That's proof you're on top of things. And then we have timing. Look, compliance isn't just about what you do, it's also about when you do it. Meal service times, claim submission dates, how long you keep your records, these deadlines aren't just suggestions, they're hard and fast rules, and missing them is an automatic red flag. And finally, our 5th pillar, communication. Honestly, this is where so many good systems just fall apart. We just assume people know what to do.
You have to train your staff with clear written guides. And when you make a correction, you have to document it. Don't just tell someone you fixed it, prove you fixed it.
Okay, so we've got the right mindset and we know the 5 pillars. But how do we actually make this happen every single day without completely burning out our team? The answer is simple. We need better systems.
First, let's just take a second to remember what's at stake. This number. This is from a real program where a simple little gap, not listing the vegetable component for 3 days, cost them over $1,000 in funding. Small cracks in your system can have really big financial consequences.
So here's a super simple but really powerful routine, the daily 3-touch system. First, you plan. Get all your forms ready before service starts. Second, you perform. Train your team to fill things out in real time, not from memory later. And third, you prove. Take just 10 minutes at the end of the day to review everything. I'm telling you, this one habit can prevent most audit findings. Here is an incredibly powerful little trick to share with your team. Teach them to ask this one simple question about every single task they do. What documentation proves this was completed correctly? When your whole team starts thinking like that, they start to own compliance themselves. It's a game changer. Now, as you're building these systems, just be on the lookout for these common leadership traps. First, don't rely on memory. Make your systems visible with things like checklists. Second, don't wait for the official audit. Do your own reviews. And finally, never, ever assume. Training isn't a one-and-done thing. It has to be an ongoing conversation. So here is your challenge. Remember, this whole thing is about progress, not perfection. I want you to take a look at your daily routines. What is the one system, just one, that you can redesign this week to make your program stronger, safer, and more secure?